So here's how to run ads to gain political power. You can run ads for pretty much anything: lead generation, e-commerce. You can even run them for gaining political influence for yourself or for others. Before we get into this, a word of caution: please use these powers for good, not for evil. It's extremely powerful, and keep in mind that the line between good and evil crosses through every man's heart. It's not through political party, it's not through class. Everyone is capable of great good or great evil. So before you launch these ads, ask yourself, are you committing evil or are you committing good by gaining influence? That's the only disclaimer I'll give you. Let's get into it. All right, so here we have Google Ads. As you can see here, we ran this campaign from about October to November in 2023, spent about $250,000, generated about 80,000 conversions, 5.7 million views, and 20 million impressions. So just a ton of reach, engagement, traffic, and leads. You can really see the benefit of running digital ads for political influence. We didn't have tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars to run this. We had about $1 million, and we actually migrated over into this account. It was about 3 or 4 times more ad spend used before we switched to this ad account. But overall, the lessons are consolidated to this ad account. So that's why I wanted to share this case study with you and give you some insight and lessons. Ultimately, the strategy is very straightforward. You're pretty much only running some top of funnel, maybe with some remarketing and some inbound search. And the two are working together to produce your top of funnel. Your video view campaigns are going to be top of funnel. Your remarketing is going to be remarketing website traffic to get people to convert. And the inbound search is going to measure your efforts for your top of funnel, your branding, and your reach campaigns. Okay. And so out of our total ad spend, we spent about $250,000 here. Only about $80,000 was spent on inbound versus 170,000 on top of funnel. So because it's ultimately binary, you either win or you don't win. You're either successful or you're not successful. That's why this is so important. You want to be consistently measuring and consistently allocating budget to some sort of an inbound search campaign. That way you can measure those efforts, especially because you're going to have quite a bit of other efforts going on as well. And that could be some ground efforts, some mailers, door knocking, calling. So having an inbound search campaign will measure all of those efforts, and you can really see how impactful those efforts are by looking at the number of clicks, the click-through rate, the conversion rate, the cost per conversion on driving whatever kind of action you're trying to drive, whether it's donate, download a PDF, whatever that conversion action is. Your cost per conversion is a direct reflection of the total summation of all the efforts on the brand awareness and top of funnel efforts you're using to push this issue forward. We wanted to make sure that we're top of page, top of placement. On top of that, we have the name recognition from all the top of funnel efforts. When someone sees that ad, they're going to click it, they're going to convert. And that's how we had a 23% click-through rate and a 37% conversion rate. Cost per clicks under $1, 60,000 conversions. Cost per conversion was $1.25. Our total impression share, almost 30%. The only reason we're not higher in impression share was that our competitors had about 3 or 4 times our budget. They ended up spending about $10 million, and we spent a couple million. The difference in spend was the primary reason that they were able to outspend us. Meanwhile, our efforts, a lot more bang for your buck. To generate cost per clicks and cost per conversions for dollar is pretty much unheard of. That's why we were able to be a lot more effective with our smaller budget than they were with a larger budget, and ultimately won on the issue. Yeah, that's the overall strategy. Now, the hardest part with running any kind of advertising isn't the strategy itself. It's actually policies, the red tape, the hoops you have to jump through in order to actually be able to run ads. These platforms can definitely put their thumb on the political scale. Some are a little bit nicer than others. It goes in regards to actually being able to run ads, what kind of ads you're able to run, and what you're able to say in those ads. We went with Google. We did run a little bit on Meta, but not a ton to really make a difference. The bulk of the spend was here on Google. And so in order to get your ad account approved on Google, you're going to have to do the normal account verification steps. If you're running ads in the EU, you're going to have to go through this verification. Who is actually running the ads? And that includes filling out some information on the business, whether it's a nonprofit, whatever the organization is. You're going to want to fill out that information. You also want to tie it to a shareholder, which could be the business owner, someone on the board, whoever wants to essentially take a phone call from Google and verify they are who they say they are, provide some form of ID, they're going to have to do that. Meta, pretty much the same thing. You're going to have to get your account approved. They're actually going to send you a letter in the mail, and you're going to have to punch in that code. If you're running these ads on someone's behalf, you're going to have to verify the ad account, the business, and you as the advertiser. Let's talk targeting. We're spending about $1,000 a day on this campaign, and for $1,000, we're getting about 30 to 40,000 views per day. We queued up a bunch of different content and then narrowed this down based on locations. We targeted all of Greater Columbus. That's pretty much the bulk of the targeting. We didn't run any interest or in-market audiences in this campaign. This was definitely one of our better performing campaigns, and we really saw the impact that came down to the placements that were taken up on this campaign. You can see here, top content was news for about $11,000, $12,000, about 1 million impressions. Cost per conversion was not great, but we weren't trying to drive conversions as much as video views, reach, and brand awareness. The news and sports did the best, but you also queued up some politics, policies. You definitely want to run some exclusions if you run this. So you want to exclude anything that children would potentially be watching. You don't want to run your ads in front of a kid with an iPad. You want to exclude anything on the App Store, including Apple Store and Google Play Store. You want to go through and exclude every single one of them. So it includes things like action games, adventure games, arcade. You can see here, we excluded everything. You should have around 140, 150 different exclusions on here to ensure that you're not running your ads in front of any kind of children. And then some topics here as well we wanted to exclude. So things like bicycles, other games, word games, toys, any kind of unboxing, puppets, anything that the kid might be watching, and that maximizes our spend so that we're spending on the right audience and the right demographic. It's not enough to just go in and exclude age ranges like unknown. Pretty much the bulk of your views are going to come from an unknown category because Google doesn't know. This is the best and easiest way to exclude any kind of children's audience. News was by far the best placement. We were able to rank right along some news related videos like Midas Touch, MSNBC, Forbes, NBC, Fox, and so on. We're able to run pre-roll ads, in-stream ads alongside those videos and generate brand awareness and views. And that was the best strategy and very easy to do at smaller budgets. If you don't have hundreds of millions or tens of millions of dollars, $1,000 a day can really get you a long way with this kind of strategy. Ultimately, you just have a bunch of different campaigns that you're running and spread that ad spend across different campaigns, different audiences, try different YouTube videos, different content placements, and try testing it. That is what worked well for us and what ultimately allowed us to gain some traction on this campaign and ultimately win the issue. Next, I want to show you a platform called Vibe. Vibe is probably one of the best ways to run ads for political parties, political candidates, and gain influence. Vibe allows you to target political parties and incomes specifically. So I'm going to walk you through real quick how to set up a campaign and show what this looks like. I'm just going to call this Carlos for Prez. This is me advertising. You can target awareness, traffic, leads, sales, retargeting. Retargeting is good. I like retargeting. In this case, I'm just going to go awareness. So we're going to go top of funnel. Remarketing would be the bottom of the funnel, which is also a good thing to do. If you're retargeting based on website visits, you can set up a pixel on your website that allows you to remarket that way. Pretty incredible. In this case, I'm just going to go awareness and we're going top of funnel. Top of funnel is going to be our go-to strategy. Then you can target locations. So let's say I'm running a campaign in the state of Texas. I'm just going to go ahead and target Texas. And then you have all these different interests. You can target different audiences if it's related to any kind of specific issue and they're not necessarily politically inclined. Let's say you're running something for some gambling policy that they're trying to pass. You can actually run that for people interested in gambling. You can say, hey, legalize gambling in Texas. You can upload custom audiences if you have an email list that you want to upload. This is good for remarketing. Definitely run 18 plus for anyone registered to vote. Men, women, easy one here. I would recommend leaving both these open unless it's something that's more politically aligned to one gender. You can toggle that back and forth. But here's where the money is. Detailed demographics. Here's where you can really bring it home. Politics. So you can target registered voters. You can target Republicans. Ethnicity, estimated net worth and household income if you're trying to run ads to get someone to donate to a political candidate. You can run estimated net worth at $1 million or more. They're a registered Republican and they got money to spend, and you're going to ask them to give some donations, right? Down here is where you want to select your placements where you want to run these ads. Generally, some of these are going to be more expensive. If you run ads in HBO Max, it's going to be a little bit more of a premium placement. Same thing with the NFL. I would run things on pretty much all the news networks, CNN, Fox, anything news related, local news, CBS, ABC, NBC. These are the main ones you want to run your ads on. If you want to branch out, you can go Vibe Premium Network. This is going to get you a better CPM, but it might not necessarily be the placements that you want to take up. So if you do have a performance network, I definitely recommend having tighter, detailed demographics selected to take advantage of those lower CPMs. Vibes is pretty good at knowing who is who. I wouldn't necessarily say they have the best, most accurate data. I think Google and Meta obviously have way better data. A lot of times they're gathering data from streaming platforms, so the data is pretty accurate. In my opinion, they're probably getting better as they go along. It's good enough for about $400 a day. We're able to get about 100,000 to 180,000 impressions. We're able to reach about 12,000 households on a weekly basis. On a daily basis, we're able to get about 15 to 30 impressions, reaching about 2,000 to 5,000 households. It really comes down to creative. Think more in the sense of running a TV ad rather than a YouTube ad. You want to have cleaner footage, nicer editing, smoother editing. Short ads generally tend to perform better and reduce your CPMs. You can't run any kind of political ads on Disney Plus, Hulu, or Peacock. They don't like it. I'll mainly stick to HBO. Samsung TV is okay, but Roku's really good. HBO, CNN, all these other ones are very good. I really like the sports related ones because sports is a little bit gated. Sports apps will have certain teams. Everyone has to have multiple different sports apps. You can't just have Fubo these days, YouTube TV, and you get all the sports networks. There are actually some apps and streaming channels that people use a lot more frequently than some of the other ones like ESPN and NFL. So yeah, that's pretty much how you use Vibe. All right, so there you have it. That's how you run ads to gain political influence. I'm probably gonna get some heat from making this video, but that's how you win some elections, win some votes,